Thank you very much, guys. And yes, Mirage, this is going to be a great map between the two offers, I feel like, of Renegades and Grayhound Gaming. As I said in the desk, Sterling dropped 30 in that last match. And it was well-deserved. His aggressive play style, when he was allowed to do it, worked out damn well for him and his team. As well as Aircast, we have to talk about, is for some reason, he's psychic. He's got this like prediction level of where people are going to be at certain times to be able to peak at the right moment and pick. Okay. Well, this time I'm not as dumb as I was before. So clearly Renegade's going to be the heavy favorites in this one. But they did take the first map. It just wasn't in the way that they might have hoped to, because 16-14 isn't the scoreline that they were looking to get, especially in this game against their brethren.
Yeah, I think this more so, a lot of this, at least the odds will be down to like Grayhound being more of a unknown entity to a lot of people. Obviously they did have some sort of like bigger LAN performances, but we know Renegades very well. Like they're a team that have been around for a while and sort of like pushing the sort of upper portions of Counter-Strike, even winning a tournament or two along the way. So yeah, we definitely expect quite a lot from them, although that last map definitely proved that Grayhound are not here to give up without a fight. This is a team that they not only want to beat, but they want to make sure they're the ones winning the minor, not just getting through it. So definitely excited to see this one. This is a map that they're pretty happy to play as well. However, looking at the positions at the moment from Renegades, this is already looking like more of a retake strategy on to be. There's 2 players currently on short. I'm liking the little boost they've thrown in, and Liaz, 1 bullet is all he needs. Dick Stacy is out.
Well, that's 1 player gone, but they're still able to get into the site and get the plant, most importantly. But what a shot at Malta there. Just Neos it around the bullets out of Azure. Is able to equalize things and make things maybe a little bit more difficult. But Grass Faction, he has the 2 flashes they need to get back in towards the site. The problem is he's pushing up by himself. He does have a teammate off to his side. The thing is he needs to be throwing these flashes, or maybe just needs to keep shooting shots like this, because he gets the first player now down. He's going to get a second as well before finally being traded on. Aircast eventually can be overrun towards bench, isn't he? He gets himself a triple, and now it's coming down to Sterling and JKS. Just in the last round of the prior matches, Sterling's the better of him this time. And that will be Grayhound taking the pistol. Yeah,
very quick response. Not again. No way. 1-0. Again, yeah, they start things off with a pistol round going their way, and we are going to see the forced buy investment in from Renegades. They want to get that big buy in round number 4, but they also want to try and do some damage here. And again, scouts straight in on the purchase, as they're going to try and do as much damage as humanly possible. You can see Gratisfaction also going to be saving up a little bit of extra cash, looking forward to getting that AWP into his hands, and I think it's going to be a pretty entertaining matchup overall. Already, though, we see a lot of SMGs purchased for the Grayhound side, so definitely interested to see how many of those they'll actually lose, because that's the sort of risk. There's a force buy-in, obviously 3 armored players with pistols as well. Okay, you don't have the risk of handing a rifle over to your opponent, but at the same time, you also don't have the firepower.
They're not actually even going towards the A side either, it seems, which is good for them, considering the scouts are over in that direction. You can see JKS set up in connector. Got his faction over towards Ticket. And the only person here is going to be Liaz. He had a great little one-tap with the USP. The problem is, there's a Deagle this time, and he's going to eventually be overrun. The thing is, he's sitting inside the smoke trying to find out where they are, but able to actually spot them out. And Dick Stacy gets the spray through. The bomb will be planted yet again. In the meantime, Azure did take down Sterling. That was over in connector, so they do get themselves 1. But look how poised Grayhound are being, not actually giving any angles to these scouts.
And this is where really you just want to see Renegades trying to hold for some exit frags, keep your weaponry into the next round. They don't have any money to invest into that one anyway, so just keep your upgraded weaponry and try and continue to do damage. Obviously, JKS doesn't currently have any armor, so he can't really take any sort of face versus Dexter, and they got to be a little bit careful. They're going to be rounding the corner. I think they know he's here, or at least they should, and that's going to be another kill onto the board, another weapon picked up as well, and this is a hugely successful round already. In fact, that's going to continue. That's an extra $600 added into his account. Did he manage to retrieve the AK as well? Yes, he did. I almost want to see them go for this.
Obviously, there's no reason not to. He already has the head armor as well with the AK. Can maybe drop something over to a teammate if they need it. Talking things over really quickly. A little bit of a blunder out of Grayhound, considering they still won the round. They lost a hell of a lot into that. It looks like Renegades are not going to really invest into this. So the players who survive are going to maintain what they had. Liaz just pick up a pistol. Let's see how it works out from Azure. There you go. That's what you see happen. You got a 4K before, you got a 3K here. He's not going to get the 4th this time, but there we go. Grass Faction chimes in. And the last player, Sterling again. Gonna be up against 3 now as he does eliminate Jacob. Able to take down JKS, and hey, maybe that's why they didn't need to buy up, because they had faith in Azur.
Yeah, to be honest, the way that the last map sort of ended with his 1v4 changing the map, like, you have to look at it and saying that 1 round was needed for Grayhound, that was it. That was the round they needed in the last map, and again, he's come up big and started this one off strong, 6-2, currently the top fragger in the server, and yeah, that triple kill is a big deal, because now the T's are coming back with a pretty damn atrocious buy. This is a few pistols, the 1 AK onto Urkus, who has had a reasonable start to this game, which almost worries me a little bit, because he was so good at sort of coming back into the game after a poor start. I wonder if he'll have a good start and then fade away, but I'll see if he can at least try and bring them a few early rounds, pick up some kills in this one to give them a chance. And actually pushing in towards this A side, there's more rotations available. Nice shot from Dick Stacey as well. He's going for the big balls plays with that Deeg. The fact is, though, they've already got a bomb plant, and he's going to be able to retrieve a rifle.
Well, he gets the first, look for the second towards CT spawn, and somehow this buy-up out of Grayhound is working out for them. Switch over to the Deego as he drops his weapon, and that does cause his downfall, but it doesn't matter. They won the round nonetheless, and it's going to be all down to Azur trying to escape, and he's really put his foot down here. Up to 8 in these first 4 rounds. Looks like luckily for him, he'll be able to escape with his AK. I mean, I was going to say, you know, it's not good going to the next round, but we have to think back to the round before this, where Azur got the spray down onto 2 and the headshot onto the 3rd to win them the round when they didn't invest into it. So Grayhound will be able to take this round in their favor, putting themselves up to 3. But I want to see what happens in the next, because again, the money's not super. Obviously, Azur can drop. Gratisfaction.
He can drop 2.
Yeah, it depends if Gratisfaction, I think, wants to go for the AWP if they want to invest into it.
Yeah, they're going for this. I don't blame them whatsoever. Like, their opponent's economy's not in the best of states. They can get a pretty comfortable purchase. And yeah. Oh, absolute destruction. That shot at the end was ridiculous, but that was the difference maker. That's what's given them enough money to actually purchase into this one. Grayhound are actually going to be the one taking themselves an early pause. Obviously, having that sort of early couple of round wins, but then losing to pistols, are probably going to try and just calm themselves down a little bit. They've managed to bounce back with what was a very weak buy, like just pistols and 1 AK-47, and now they just want to make sure, okay, this is where we start our streak and not just let Renegades straight back into this one.
True. I don't see an AWP picked up for them, though. So it looks like it's going to be Gratisfaction with a great opportunity to give the long-range battle in their favor. It's just coming down to, is he going to be given an opportunity? I actually wonder where they place him, because they've had him over towards the A site for, I want to say, a good portion of the game. But he's actually going to get in towards window. He's going to jump out towards short. And there's no smoke actually set for them to push in towards middle for the side of Grayhound Gaming. So it's not like they're actually going to peek around this without something being thrown.
Yeah, this position on short, though, is so valuable for an AWPer, and so valuable for the team in general, because most of the time, you're going to have a great chance to actually just get this early pick without much of a response, but I think the timing may have just screwed him. They're already all the way out. Jacob's going to be the one punished for it, and Gratisfaction is completely forced off of the angle, so fantastic stuff from Grayhound. A little bit of luck going their way, I will say, at the same time, because that was a fairly dry push out, and if he'd just been holding the initial angle, it probably would have been a very easy kill for Gratisfaction. Instead, they're now a man down, and the T's are looking to push down on them.
Azur expect a player here in window. Well, doesn't matter. He gets the shot nonetheless. Aircast will fall. And the short control has been won here for the side of Grayhound. Technically, I think they could win towards B as well. And look how split the CTs are. 1-1-1 between all 3. And Azur has an opportunity, especially if Malta comes back in towards mid. It's a great shot, and he does yet again here. Azur is really coming alive. It's a little bit quiet the majority of the first map on Cash, but towards the end, and now obviously here on Mirage, he's been doing fantastic. He's up to, I think, 10 frags in this match so far. Gratisfaction gets a big kill with the AWP, and just like that, Renegades have the man advantage.
And this is now troublesome. Dexter. Oh,
okay.
What a transition. Azur's just been sent back saying, okay, anything you can do, I can do better. And wow, that's absolute filth. Gratisfaction now left with a rifle in hand, hoping that somebody makes a mistake, gives him an angle, gives him a peek, but he doesn't have a kit. There's no way he's winning this round, and they're just going to have to try and hold on to what he's got.
He just wants his op back too, I would assume. He's got it right off to the side on short. Match is go back for it. Yeah, there we go. So going to maintain that to the next round. But yeah, that was amazing out of Dexter. He gets himself a 3K and the spray control and the transfer over to the second player just really saved that round for him.
I'm just waiting. There's only... What? I'm disappointed. That was the biggest production Nick Stacy tease I've ever had. Well, 4-1 Gratisfaction. The solo AWP, the one savior for this team, and already could be forced back. They're going to go for the stack in the meantime, so he's pretty much left as the sole defender of this A side, but may not be the worst case scenario here. They've got pretty much everybody else over onto this site. Urka's going to be sent in to try and play a little bit of Farming Simulator 2019. And he's going to make himself a little bit of extra cash. $1,200 into his bank account. He will be put down by Gratisfaction, who now just looks to try and save. Not really any chance to win this round. You've got to be careful, because Dick is looking to come in from behind. By the looks of it, he's just going to be rotating back. Maybe to catch him with his pants down.
Well, that's usually happens when you try to come in from behind. They're not looking in direction, but unfortunately, Dick's gonna fall a little bit flaccid there as he doesn't get the shot. And Gratisfaction able to get the follow-up on Malta. He gets a decent amount of damage done in that round, but Grayhound off to a good start here, 5-1. Able to rescue the AWP for Malta as well.
But yeah, this round was done. The only thing that's a little bit worrying, okay, they save an AWP, but that's a lot of damage done by Gratisfaction. He's able to reduce the amount of money that's left over on the Grayhound side. Of course, they've started off with quite a nice 5-1 scoreline, but the money doesn't really suggest that they've had a 3-round streak, especially not one that could have been completely clean in the previous. Gratisfaction successfully making the jump again, but he's never been able to capitalize on it. That's been the biggest problem for him so far, and already dunked a little bit low after losing his life in the previous round. However, JKS will be there to kick things off. The initial kill onto Dexter. Bomb will be retrieved, but it leaves a bit of an individual push across the map, and every single battle is being won by a Renegades Jacob with a double, and leaving Sterling all alone, who's yet to really come alive in this map. A 1v5 wouldn't be a bad way to start.
You know what worries me is that in this round, I mean, Grayhound obviously had a good economy, they had full utility, but how much of that utility was actually used? You can see Sterling still sitting with the 2 flashes, smoke, Molotov. I feel like there was maybe a flash or 2 used out of Grayhound, but in general, it just came down to these individual duels. And they didn't really get to set up the way they wanted to, and as the clock ticks away second by second, I think this 1v5 becomes more and more impossible if it already wasn't tough enough.
They could just stand in a line for him. Maybe that'll work.
I don't even think it would anymore at this rate.
Well, it is going to be a second round on the board, and the interesting thing is that a 3-round streak, as mentioned, the amount of damage that Gratisfaction actually managed to do in the previous round has played a big part, because we're now going to see a second timeout called by Grayhound. They don't have the money to invest into this round, so they have to take a hit. So Renegades obviously doing very well in the previous round to keep it quite clean. They're now going to look to try and do that again and actually build up some money.
I mean, this even dates back to the round where Gratisfaction got a triple with AWP, when that's all they had. Like, every kill that they were getting is just, it's eating away at the economy for Grayhound. And like you said before, even though they're up 5-1, it's not as if it's been a clean 5-1. They've been constantly taking casualties. You can see their money is just not really there at all.
And it's interesting that they are the team in the lead and they're the ones taking all the pauses. They're sort of clearly not feeling that it's going the way they wanted to, even though they are in a 5-2 situation. But now, very likely it's going to be 5-3. They have to try and win with even less than what we saw them do previously in round number 4. And yeah, this is more, again, hope to get a bomb plant, hope to do some damage. And yeah, get some extra cash for your side and maybe steal a weapon.
Dexter's going to be off by himself, trying to sneak through the smoke, and quickly gets shut down. I think Liaz as well, the smoke already set up He's going to have a fairly easy shot here. He's going to be up against the P250, which should still ideally be able to win out on this trade. But I wonder if Grayhound are using this as some time to talk yet again, like we saw Renegades do before on Cash, since they are down to just 2 timeouts left. I mean, they have eaten through, right? 2 timeouts so far, and it's only been 7 rounds, if I can count. I definitely agree with you that it doesn't seem to... I mean, even though they are winning, it's not going the way they wanted to, and I think the pressure of this match, of the winner's match, like you win this, you get practically a day off, you get the first seed out of group.
Ooh. Actually get a bomb on it? Surely not. Molotov should finish him, but it will finish him. It's after the bomb's gone down. So although there's not much in here in terms of damage, that's hugely successful for Grayhound. They get themselves a bomb plant. That'll make sure if they want an AWP, if they want anything extra in terms of the trimmings, like the utility and everything, they can have it in play. So all in all, that's not a bad round at all, considering they only managed to kill off 1 player.
Guy's faction seems to be waking up a little bit too. 7-3 for him. Azur's still doing really well, as you can see. 12 for him. And now Grayhound, I think they get, yeah, they do get the op over to Sterling. So I wonder if they're actually going to contest in middle. Grass faction has gone through the window, jumped to short twice now. They spotted him last time he did it. They expect it again. I guess he doesn't have the spawn for it. They don't want to go for it. But that one-way smoke is going to allow him an angle to shoot from. Actually, that wasn't even his smoke, so that was the enemy smoke just misplaced, right?
Yeah, I'm not even sure there was a Molotov or anything thrown down to sort of displace it. So, yeah, just slightly missed. Luckily, nothing is going to come of it. The T's will know by now that the smoke has faded. Actually, did he spot anyone there? So close to the wallbang going through, but not quite enough just yet. Molotov going to be thrown in to try and force him out of position and can allow for the boost into the window. And Dexter is going to manage to finish off Gratisfaction. Not the start the Renegades were looking for. And look how much utility's already gone. They have got 4 flashbangs left, and there's only a minute on the clock.
Oh, again, this is something we saw before out of Grayhound. Like, they had full utility. They had the economy, but they didn't use any of it. They just got killed off before they did. They took a lot of these individual duels instead of flashing for each other and using these smokes to work angles. Azur, get the bomb down here over towards short as he takes down Sterling. Call's been made in, and you still have JKS lurking over towards the A side as Dexter's trying to make something happen from connector, but once the smoke fades, he's going to see that there's no one facing him from short. 35 seconds left to go here as well, Tom. Like, this should be an unwinnable situation.
Yeah, this is a horrible, horrible spot to be in. And the fact is they have players covering, not even the bomb, they're just covering ready for if they go towards short. Azur not going to be able to do anything, but the fact is there's only 20 seconds, but that kill onto JKS is massive. That gives them an opportunity to try and switch back. Azur's going to come in, but he doesn't manage to drop the man with the bomb. So Malta's going to be left with a hero chance, as he will get into the afterplant situation. The fact is, though, still a lot left to do. Azur so low on HP, he's going to go fighting first as he's allowing his teammate to try and go for the trade, but the trade is not needed. Azur again, 4 kills, another massive round for the man leading the side, not only, well, by voice, but by frags as well.
So here we go, Renegades. Off to a start, 16 frags for Azur now. Out of 9 rounds, that's some ridiculous stuff. Actually, out of the 9 rounds we've had, I'm trying to remember if he got 2 in this round or not. He had 5 2+ kill rounds so far.
Well,
he got a triple there, so he has 6 2+ kill rounds so far out of 9. That's insane stuff out of this player.
He's having a fantastic performance after what was a pretty slow performance on Cash. The interesting thing is when you look at the sort of fragging statistics for Grayhound, considering they're in the lead, they're very low. Like, a lot of these rounds have been very, very close. Not Gratisfaction, once again, kicks things off, bomb drop to the deck, and this is just a complete mow-down of players. Renegades, again, it seems like a little bit slow to start. We see Grayhound off to a good start on the first half, but then we just see the bounce up from Renegades. A few rounds in a row, clean ones at that. The economy is built, like, just bear in mind what, so that is 4 rounds in a row they've had. They've got 10,000 on Azza 8,000 on multiple players, and then the lowest is Jacob with 3,000. And you just sort of have to look at it and go, okay, they're now in a really strong position. It's going to be up to Grayhound to win a couple in a row just to attempt to break them.
I mean, Azra had 173 ADR before that round finished because he didn't give an opportunity to actually shoot anyone since they all went towards A. Now Leah's going to have a chance to spray them down, gets them through the smoke. That's Malta now out of this fight. The problem is the bomb's still going to be back in towards spawn, so it's not like they were going to commit to this anyways. But Azra is having an amazing game, and Dick Stacy
Swish. That was
blown up.
That was a swish nade. Jacob will go down, but he's still done a lot of damage in response. He's not out of this round just yet. It's just the low HP that sort of worries me a little bit for the Grayhound side. And T's once again going to take control of the window. That was a bit of a problem before, but not when Azza's around. No one seems to be able to compete with this man at the moment. At least on the opposition side, and you'd hope his teammates wouldn't be trying to compete with him too much. Either way, the man advantage sticks with the CTs, and the low players are still standing, at least on one of their legs. But Liaz, oh, that's an interesting time to reload. Goes for a little bit of a peek back, caught in the animation, and will just fade away. He may just be able to catch them on the cross through the wall, doing loads of damage, hits the headshot onto Dick Stacy, and it's going to be the runaway, but there's only 30 seconds left on the clock. It's because Dex has managed to get so far into this site. It's been a little bit of a misread. The problem will be, can Sterling actually cross? Because if he's caught at any point, he could be in trouble. Azza completely bemused by the fact that somebody just pushed all the way through A. And yeah, I think it's a bit of a mistake from JKS, just going aggressive. Didn't manage to spot the man, I believe, in Palace. However, he now controls the Palace itself.
Is he going to expect it at the right time? Grass Faction is going to take down Sterling. No AWP, no HP left for Dexter either. And that's going to be Renegades getting the lead here for the first time on Mirage. I think we're having another pause come in here in a few seconds. I assume that's going to be out of Grayhound. But Renegades doing well. I mean, thing is, like, Counter-Strike, there's a lot of FPS 101 when it comes to you know, games like this, where if someone is just on fire, it doesn't matter like what strategies you can pull off, it doesn't matter how you feel in a 1v1. If Azra's going off like he is, he's almost single-handedly carrying a game. Think of Valda on Mirage the other day. Yeah. He got 40 frags in normal regulation time, and he single-handedly carried them against Vitality. The problem was in map 2 and 3, they did eventually lose out on that series. But one player can change the tide of a game completely, and Azra, he's pretty much doing just that here.
Yeah, not only a large amount of frags, but impact ones at that. Gratisfaction looking for some impact of his own, but slightly caught out, or more than slightly caught out by the grenades. It will be Dick to finish him off, and, well, realistically, the CTs now have to try and find a way back into this round, as they're going to be Molotov. The Malta closes out Liaz, looking much better for Grayhound. They didn't like the fact that the lead has now swung into the favor of the Renegades, and they want to put it back on the Grayhound side.
Might have been able to do it too. Azra down to 15 HP as he was sprayed through. I believe that was window in the smoke. There's no one actually on the B site. We do have Azra there to kind of hold from kitchen, but he's not even holding an angle to see in towards B halls as he does cross to actually give that info. I think almost Renegades are... I want to say they're not going to save it, but I feel like they potentially should at this rate, just to not throw anything away. They kind of maintain the money into the later rounds, because, you know, we're going to be 12 rounds into this half. Money could become an issue, but they, you know, obviously want to port up into an op. And the call's been made. They are over towards B.
Yeah, I wonder if they should just be saving here. They're just trying to fall back.
That's what I was wondering, right?
Yeah, Azza with 5 HP, it's sort of like almost asking to be shot at that point.
Like, they have a ton of money to use, but it's... I mean, you still have a couple of rounds left to go, right? You still have 3 left, so you might as well just not throw anything away, because you could use that money later on, especially if you lose consecutive rounds.
More interestingly will be whether or not there can be a couple of exits coming in, because we've already seen the sort of problems over the last few of economy for Grayhound, although they have been losing in a streak before eventually managing to win one now. And you can see that they're not really looking to fight too many of these players. Even though they have everybody standing, they want to build up some economy of their own. Jacob's going to be executed by Dexter.
Or Dextercuted.
And also we know that, just from the show, he's not going to get caught.
Spoiler, I haven't finished the show. I was like 5 seasons in, I was like, damn, this is grim.
So, he's pretty good at this.
Yeah. He's pretty good. He's actually leading his team as well.
But this is what I mean, like, you look at the frag distribution, if you read out some of the numbers over on the side, it's like 17, 11, 10, and then you go to the other side, it's like, I think it's like 9, 6, 6, oh, 6. And the scoreline 6-6 overall. So you sort of think about it and you're like, when you read out the actual statistics, you think Renegades will be way in the lead at this sort of point, but Grayhound, when they have managed to win them, they've been very, very close.
We do have one of the first AUGs actually in this match, I feel like, with Azure and Liaz. I think Liaz is going to know as the smoke comes in, there's going to be players right around the corner here. The nade goes through and it does a little bit of damage. Can't complain about that. Azure's just going to be holding a very long angle here towards middle, and he's not even going to be Molotov'd off, so he should be able to maintain this for an extended period of time. With Grass Faction as well pushed up towards apartments, he knows he's safe towards B. They should know the pressure is in towards middle and ideally over towards this A side, which is why I think we're seeing these three players here. But Connector is going to be the real pivot point here for Grayhound.
Still there, 45 seconds left on the clock. And they do look to make this split possible, but there's already 3 players there for Renegades, and Az are looking to try and deal with any sort of cross. Obviously, the rotation hoping to be held, but Sterling's going to go down without much of a fight, and now they do have to worry about this potential flank. Nice shot from Urkus, though, to remove Liaz from action. Jacob burning in the corner, but he still takes one with him, and now JKS transitions to help with Azza, who finds a double. It is going to be 7-6. Renegades take the lead once again. There's still a bit of money left for Greyhounds to purchase at least into this one. I think he's gunning for that 40.
I mean, at the way he's going, he might be able to, actually. So Grayhound go for a timeout. 1 left. They've used 3 timeouts on their T side of Mirage here.
Yeah, I do, to be honest, I understand that a little bit more, because I feel like with your T-side strategy, there's a lot more you can change. Like, if there's like different ideas floating around or things that you feel are going wrong. I think also with how close their economy has been a lot of the time, I think they've needed a bit more time to talk over. On the CT side, you pretty much have a lot of your default setup, so unless somebody is specific, like something specifically going wrong, like, okay, we need to stop pushing this area, or we're being countered from here, I don't think you're going to need to talk so much about it. Just say, okay, we're switching him and him, we're going to have this up here now or something. Other than that, I feel like your CT side is pretty much going to be he plays here, he plays here, he plays here, he plays here. Like, it's not going to change massively enough that you need to talk about it for a whole 30 seconds.
True. Az are on 20 so far, and this Leah's actually only on 3 frags, but hey, when Az was hogging them all, you know, it's only a finite amount of frags you can get in every round. I'm looking for the 8th round to guarantee that lead into the second half would be nice here for Renegades. Grayhound as well, just trying to claw a couple more rounds if they possibly can. A little bit of a deeper smoke towards Connector. Not actually really applying any pressure towards short, though, as we can see. It seems like they are getting ready to go for the hit on towards this B side where Liaz can be waiting. And Azur's going to be able to rotate in from short. And the AUG from short here, as they're trying to come out of apartments. If you're not smoking him off, he's just going to decimate you. Unfortunately, Caster Curse comes in, only gets 1, but Liaz is going to be there, able to secure 1 for himself, but not the second. Dexter still not getting caught. And they do have the man advantage, and more importantly, they have the bomb down here.
Oh, nice shot from Sterling, and well, Dexter copycats his teammate and insta headshots Gratisfaction as he looks to move in. 7-7 really is nothing separating these teams, although either side have had like some sort of streaks along the way. They really are neck and neck, and they have been throughout this series so far. The first map ending 16-14 in a 1 versus 1, and there were some rounds that definitely could have gone the other way to give Grayhound the edge. Obviously, bear in mind the 1v4 from Azza right towards the end of that map. It's looking like it's going to take a serious second half from either side to really settle, well, whether or not Renegades are going to be going straight through, or Grayhound are going to take us to a third. Either way, this side of the map is not done just yet, but JKS will finish it for Dexter, as he will have to wait until half number 2 before he can play again.
So he gets an extended break for him. Jacob going to be still tucked away in Connector, and it looks like they're trying to take Stacy to come through. They're probably going to jump right into Liaz, but he does get the better of him. He's easy to expect the second player going to be there. And Jacobs, well, he answered that question for us relatively quickly. The last 2 players are going to go for an execute towards the A side. Just could be a shooting spree for JKS. We can still see he's worried over towards Palace. Expect this one to maybe potentially come out. He will fall without a fight. It's now turned into a 3-on-3.
Yeah, and actually they have sort of sectioned off, but there's a little bit of a gap in the smoke. Looking like they're going to go for more of a default plant. Actually chucking the bomb away, and instead as they attempt to cross, all of the smokes have faded now. There's no utility left. They've sort of lost their window of opportunity here, and the CT side are looking to try and capitalize on that. Only 40 seconds left on the clock, and okay, that seems like a world away, quite a long time, but with the positions currently held, it could become quite difficult. Now CT's no longer safe, and Azza, is he going to hear the plant? This is opportunity to actually go in for the peak, but Sterling sticks it like a man and will be left to at least fight back in the 3v2.
He needs a shot too. He needs to alleviate the pressure from CT spawn. Aircast able to get down Jacob. Now it's all in Gratisfaction, and the 3-on-2 situation is starting to work out here for the side of Grayhound Gaming. Gratisfaction trying to push in, does get the first, but not the second. Sterling going to close that out, and more importantly, guarantee the half lead for Grayhound Gaming. We're going to head to a short break. When we come back, we're going to find out if we're going to go to number 3, or if we'll see Renegades close it out. Or if Renegades can take it in 2, we'll see you after the break. Just kidding, this is live, this is not a recording. We're here in Katowice, Poland, bringing you the Asian Minors in our winner bracket match from day 1. The winner of this goes on to playoffs, loser has to play again. But they have guaranteed themselves a minimum, actually, not even a minimum, they still have to qualify because only 2 out of the groups. And Sterling, in the meantime, he's trying to take the game into his own hands, is what I was trying to say.
No, he wants to take the hand of JKS, and to be honest, who doesn't? Who doesn't?
He is a good-looking guy.
And his name's, I want to be called Tom Savage. That would be a wonderful name. Never mind. Let's move on from this. We're into our pistol round, and now Malta's looking to try and turn the tide back. It will be CT's coming out on top, at least for now. Jacob's looking to try and be the hero. There's been a few clutches, but this would be an impressive one, as he is completely surrounded. And Grayhound, they take the second pistol as well in this map, giving them a 2-round lead.
JKS had a pretty damn good start right there, able to get the better Sterling, but either way, Grayhound doing pretty well. They're definitely keeping their composure, considering like they're using a lot of their timeouts. They're trying to stay focused, trying to stay calm, most importantly. And I think this is a good start here for Grayhound, especially on the CT side. We can see Renegade's going to go for the full eco here. Just a flashbang to get them out. Maybe hope for a bomb plant. There's still going to be 2 players there, and it's going to be tough to really hope for, and especially with them holding so aggressively here. It actually might work out against Grayhound because they flash themselves, but Dick Stacy's going to be there, and they're getting mowed down. Easy day at the job here for Grayhound, and now it's just Azure by himself saying, guys, I had a flash, we weren't ready to go.
Nice cleanup, especially considering we've seen the save come in for Renegades as well. They're going to be purchasing up with the AKs into this round, so that's sort of the extra cash made for Grayhound that most teams don't have in these sort of scenarios anymore. I said the sort of economy changes have made it much more difficult to have what is a bonus round, but this will be a bit of one for them. We're just going to see a bit of investment back into utility. Also, Malta left a little bit lower than everybody else because he'd already purchased up a rifle. But if it does all go wrong in this round, we will still see a purchase coming in from Grayhound.
Thing is, if you're Renegades, you have to be very careful about your utility since you're so limited in what you can buy up in this round. There's a massive stack over towards B. I mean, you obviously have the transition in through underpass if you need, but they're kind of allowing Azure to be his own man, I guess. I don't know, he's kind of off in towards middle. He does actually get a frag in towards window. That's Aircast going to go down. Azure will be traded out on, but they've been able to make their way through. They've been able to get the bomb down, and now if you're Grayhound, you kind of have to wonder, can we retake this, or are we better off saving our weapons? And it looks like they will go for the save.
Yeah, completely agree with that in this sort of situation. You've managed to retrieve an extra rifle, keep the rifle you had, and then everybody else can buy one. So you've gone from a bonus round situation where you had a load of SMGs, you were trying to do some damage and buy up in the next round to, okay, well, we didn't really do much damage, but at least we've managed to keep 2 rifles, and then we can buy up another couple if we want to, which I imagine they will. So it is going to be an 8th at least for Renegades, and they only lose 1 player themselves, so they're in a pretty good scenario. Can't expect any of the remaining players in this sort of round to meet, because both teams just want to keep everything they've got into the next. But now we look to see who is going to take that all-important 19th round.
I'm curious to see if Azure's able to transition his success on the CT side of Mirage over towards the T side. He's actually 4-0 in opening duels, by the way. And he has 6.
Not bad.
Yeah, and he has 6 2+ kill rounds.
Thing is, I think he had 6 2+ kills in round 9.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So maybe has tapered off a little bit, but still 20 odd frags in the first half is something you could never scoff at. And now into, like I said, round 19, a very important round here for both sides, especially since Grayhound isn't the best situation when it comes to money. I like Aircast's position. He's been so good with timing before, but the problem is that Smoke's allowed Azure to sneak through in towards jungle. He has to spot out the first player. He does get sprayed down eventually, and that's a little bit unfortunate for him because the smoke has just faded, and luckily Liaz's able to trade the frag back, and JKS gets an important kill onto Malta. Oh my gosh. That...
Got to be careful he hasn't missed the opportunity here. He may be coming into Jacob's field of vision fairly soon, but Dexter just trying to play down the clock, give himself a little bit of an opportunity to get this one for free, and then look for the second, but unfortunately JKS was quick enough to respond. However, he now has to respond with 2 more because he's left into the 1v2. It is going to be Dick Stacy and Sterling up against him. That AWP down. He's looking to try and ring around the Rosie. The problem is, if he drops down, it's going to make enough noise that his opponent should know exactly where he is. Now, the bomb's planted for that exact position, but I think he may have just got far enough away that they're not going to realize where he is. Still, though, Dick's going to be watching that direction. He will fall. The spray needs to come through, and JKS just taps him out. Another 4K coming in for Renegades, and whenever they seem to need a hero, one steps up to the plate.
What a play out of him, too, to keep his composure that far away from the bomb. Able to get the spray down the first, and Dexter, I feel so bad for him too because he played that fantastic. Like, he was in the right position. He tried to jump the gun when we heard the bomb being planted to stop it, but JKS was there just as quick as he got his frag. And now Grayhound taking their last time out of the map to talk some things over. They have some money. Like, Dexter has 6,700. The problem is it's only him and Eric that actually have the funds to really invest into this round. Do they want to go for it? At the same time, Renegades, they don't have a big economy built up just yet because of how close these rounds have gotten that they have won. And you can see the full utility, full weapons, full armor. In Grayhound's position, it's kind of like, do we let them tie things up or do we buy up into this? And we can already see they've actually invested into an M4.
I think that's heavily based off just one player being alive in the last round. I think they know that this could be a sort of boost to get them right into this map and right into the lead, rather than sort of like saving here and waiting for the big buy. At the same time, I would have been quite happy to see them let Renegades equalize the scoreline and bring up with full AWPs, have the rifles with all the utility. Instead, that's where the limitations are. There's not a single incendiary for this CT side, and that's a bit of a problem considering it's looking like it's going to be a fast push onto this A side.
Also going to be in shadow. I'm going to check it. Actually, Jacob's going to try, but again, Liaz is going to be there for the trade. He's been consistent with doing that so far in this matchup. It's going to be down to a 3-on-2. The smoke's going to fade momentarily as the bomb still hasn't been planted just yet. And, well, as I was going to say, there's not going to be a chance. This Grass faction, lucky for him, does get that frag. Maybe try to spray through and actually halts the plant as well. Cast all alone, trying to get the players to rotate in to help out. JKS again, he is, just like Azur stepped up on the CT side, he's doing so on the T side as well in the last map on Cash when we saw him clutch out that 1v1 up against Sterling to win them the map. And now all tied up at 10 apiece. This is what worries me, right? Is that we were describing before, yeah, you know, you have 3 timeouts used out of Grayhound on the T side. It's understandable because there's more you can change. Yeah. But now going into this, if Renegades build up momentum, they don't have anything to stop that, right? They don't have anything to like freeze them out in any sense. So it's a little bit worrying for their side if they can't take some rounds back. And we're going to see the push-up come in. It's going to be actually a big push out of both teams. You can see the spray going to come through. Azur with the MAC-10 gets the first. And a decent trade so far, actually, in favor of Renegades in the end of things. But they did get a lot of damage done for really no investment on their own side.
Yeah, this is, well, pretty much just a stat padding round for Gratis faction. But still, 2 kills, not bad for the CT side. The thing is, I feel like this is where Renegades can be their scariest, because I think that if you look at the sort of like the likes of Azur and JKS, in this server at the moment, if I talk about skill ceiling, I think they're easily right up there. I think Jacob as well is another one where it's just like, if they hit their peak, I don't think there's anything anybody else in the Asian minor can do about it. And the fact is, both of these players are performing out of their mind in this game. Azur, 24-13, JKS 21-9. And I just don't think that if this continues, there's anything that Grayhound can do to compete against it.
Well, you said at the start of the series that Renegades are typically a team who doesn't do well in the initial match tournament. And then they start to, you know, power up or level up, whatever you want to say, throughout the course of that. For me, if this is their not doing well stage, if that's true, obviously...
I will say that a lot of the time that does seem to come down to just jet lag, which they haven't had this time. So they don't have that excuse anymore. But at the same time, yeah.
I just wonder if they're going to keep getting better as the days go on. Like, if they're already playing at a pretty decent standard, you already have JKS and Azur being able to step up like this individually. You know, like you're saying, can anyone stop them in the Asian minor?
Well, the other thing as well is if they go straight through like the upper bracket, if they win this one, then well, the chances are that they'll just have to play like Greyhounds again at some point. Like, this is their toughest opponent, or likely to be their toughest opponent. So if they win this one, they can pretty much take a bit of a breather. But, well, they will. They can take one. They get tomorrow off. But either way, we're acting, or sort of talking as if it's done. 11-10 is still a very close scoreline. And, well, Dexter and Sterling are going to silence us within seconds, as they have managed to find a couple of kills. Still, Azur is standing, and he's still kicking as well. He's found 2 straight back, and he's got his partner in crime, JKS, up alongside Liaz. And JKS has already done a little bit of damage. Looked like it would have been quite a bit more, but as it's still going, Liaz will chime in, and now it's left all on to Dick.
It's going to be very hard for him here as well, as he's trying to push in a 1v2, and he's going to get beat down pretty hard. And that will be Renegades taking the round, but that round would never have been possible without Azur's 3K that he got. Never would have happened, as well as Sterling, who got dismantled in towards Ticket, but I think that was JKS just spamming away at him constantly. Massive duels, massive impact frags out of this player here. And Renegades are on a streak, 12-10. They've won the last 4 rounds straight, actually 5 rounds straight. And the question is for Grayhound, who's going to pretty much throw a decent amount into this round. Can they stop this? Can they stop this bus that Renegades are driving through here on Mirage?
Yeah, this is it's looking pretty unlikely, at least at the moment, even though it's sort of been a close scoreline. It's just the way that Renegades have managed to win the last few rounds, like even with like huge disadvantage at the beginning, it seems like those sort of two players have just been having crazy games. If one of them doesn't step up, the other does, and that's a very, very scary prospect. Like, as I said, when you consider that right now, Azza is 10 kills above anyone in the server except for JKS. Like, that's a scary prospect. Dexter, at least, will be able to chime in with one off the back of the scout. There's only going to be one man looking to really defend this. I think Stacy is gone, and his teammate will look to rotate in, but they're meeting the same fate. It really is a race to the sort of 30 bomb at the moment, but Azza is leading it. Sterling will at least be able to put down one, and that's an Akin. He's out. See you later. He's going to be retreating. The difference I fear at the moment is this guy doesn't have the same impact he's had in the previous map. He was, I think it's arguable the best player because obviously Jacob played so well, but I just feel like in terms of impact for Grayhound, he was massive with his 30 kills. Haven't seen the same sort of performance from him. Now, we have had other players step up in the form of Dexter, for example, but realistically, I think we need a little bit more of Sterling in the server.
I think, though, a lot of it's coming down to the fact they're not able to really get an op in his hands in the way that he wants to. Like, he had an op, obviously, 2 rounds prior, but he had no head armor, and he wasn't in a good position because Azur, you know, got a big triple kill. I feel like with them taking the initial 2 rounds, he hasn't been able to get set up necessarily in a good way, which is definitely punishing for him. And now Renegade's going to take another pause themselves, talk some things over. It seems to be mostly towards Azur, you can see. But he's playing amazing. He's 28 frags now. And you have to wonder, is that kind of what stops Grayhound, is these individual plays of Azur getting a triple kill or JKS getting a triple or a quad kill? I mean, between the two, they have 13 2+ kill rounds with JKS and Azur. And it's like, how do you stop that, right? Well, yeah, ideally, someone on your own team steps up to that kind of level and can handle them, or you're able to play in a different way. But with them on T side, it's not like you can figure out where they're playing. You know, like, oh yeah, Azur's going to be towards B, so we can just avoid B or smoke him off. It's, you kind of have to adapt in the middle of the round, and it's being tough to do here for Grayhound.
Well, we now actually see what is their attempt, their switch up. They've gone for the double AWP setup. It's going to be Urkus picking up the secondary, and he'll be set up over towards this B site. Dexter's actually going to be the one to find the initial pick onto Azur, though, in the underpass position. Urkus looking for a little bit more, but doesn't quite manage to connect, and that's going to be the trade available. Now the T's will look to just burst into the site. Dick Stacy is ready and waiting, though. Gets it first, but again, Jacob's there with a trade, and Gratisfaction even peeks into the angle of Sterling and removes him without a second's thought. However, we still swing back into a 2 versus 2. Dexter's managed to get past the Molotov, but cooks in the remaining flames. Now Liaz left into the 1 versus. Oh, and he's going to get past the angle, and Malta has absolutely no clue. It's close, but not enough for Grayhound.
What even happened in that round? I don't even know anymore. We saw Azur die in underpassing. There was Dexter pushed in for that one. And then we saw just kills being constantly traded out. You saw Aircast miss that shot. Dick was able to get, I believe, 1 on this as Jacob's able to trade back. But this play right here, that shot, I feel like not say the cockiness, but the confidence, I think is a better way to say, to go for the peak against him and hit that shot just completely
that was
in that round.
Pure pre-fire as well. Yeah. Just assuming that somebody would be there, and oh, they didn't miss. That's the most important thing. Dexter now going to be left with his AWP, and again, the AWP player is gone within seconds. Urkus will fall. Jacobs now looking to try and catch up on the scoreboard a little bit. Hasn't had the same impact of the previous map, but at least in the last few rounds, he has been the man to watch. Already an early double in this one versus the Pistols, and of course that 1 AWP. But now you can see after the initial frags going for Renegades, just a slowdown. They know they've got the advantage here. They know that they're up against a weaker buy. They know that realistically Renegades have to go for it, or not Renegades, Grayhound have to go for an aggressive peak. And, well, Jacob once again, he's now got himself a triple on the board. It's left all onto Malta, and he'll be caught in the spawn. 15 and 10, a comfortable victory in that round for Renegades, and they are now 1 round away from getting through to the playoffs.
The thing is, this minor, not just this one in particular, Asia, over the course of last week, we've seen so many crazy games. Like, for instance, Mousesports being knocked out, Avantgarde losing to Windstrike in the winners match of Group B in the CIS region. I feel like we need some sort of normality back in our lives, right? And with Renegade being the favorites to win all of the Asia Minors, it's nice to see them actually be able to do so. But Grayhound, give them credit. They've been playing amazing as well, and I'm curious to see, if the potential rematch does happen in the playoffs, if maybe things can go a different way. Just give them a couple days of time to look at what Renegades did in this last match.
That's assuming that, of course, everything goes at plan towards the end. We're going to have an early trade. Jacob once again will be able to pick off one, but it's still the CT's coming out to turn it into a 3 versus 3. Mortar coming back through the ramp could be a big problem for the remaining players. They've got one currently over in towards the jungle, and JKS up in the palace. He's always up in the palace, so it's no wonder the Mortar's looking to try and check that out. Still, though, both players taking a ding, taking some damage, and they've got to be careful because Gradis faction, he's going hunting. He wants to try and chase this man down, may even be able to finish him off through the wood. In fact, just closes him before he can do anything else. Looking for the peak with the AWP, but he now sits down on just 16 HP and a clutch needed.
Would be a 4K if he's able to pull this off. He does have the bomb, so at least has that going for him. He still technically has time to rotate back towards B if he wants to. He even has a decent amount of utility to use behind it. On the other side of the spectrum, though, Grayhound have even more to go for a retake. And I like how they're sticking together as well. Don't give him a 1v1. Get the refrag right after. And they're both in an interesting spot, too, because you technically could have them going from different directions over towards B if they want. And Grass Faction should be able to get the bomb down. Now, he's had confidence here in this position before, able to take down Sterling. And actually, they're even checking A. They're not even sure where it is. So now we'll make the call. And I feel like if Grass Faction hits his first shot, there is a good chance he actually could pull this off.
He's actually a little bit wary of them coming through from the market position, so that's where he's going to take the majority of his peak, but he's got the position to at least find onto the first. The problem is now the bomb is not planted him, but the flash actually pushes his opponent off of it, goes for the peak, but Urkus is at least there to find the kill. Doesn't have a kit, but does have enough time for the defusal anyway.
Left that one really close too. I think if Gratisfaction was able to hear, because I don't think he even tapped it. If I'm not mistaken, he actually just waited for Gratisfaction to come around the corner. But still, that round too close for comfort. The money's really not great for Grayhound, so it's not like they're gonna have a full buy-up into this round. They survived with one player, so it's only gonna get harder from here.
Well, Renegades using their penultimate tactical pause, so again, both teams utilizing all of their attacks other than, well, the one for Renegades left, but I'm sure if they lose a couple more rounds, that'll be coming in as well. So definitely taking the time to talk things through. They've still got money in this round to buy, and in fact, into the next round, they'll still be comfortable. And obviously for Grayhound, okay, they've taken a bit of a hit in this round for their economy, but they can't be reset because they can't lose.
I mean, you're not wrong. Let's see, though. Round 27. We got a 16-14 in map 1. Can Grayhound pull it that close again and potentially into overtime? Azur, 28 frags. He's gonna spot the first player, not able to hit the shot, though. I'm surprised he went for the challenge there. There we go, the push in towards B. We saw this same strat a few rounds before. The problem is there's two players stacked towards short this time. Nightcast takes down one, so does Dick. But Jacob, yeah, he really wants to get his name on the board here. Sterling's gonna be in from Kitchen, comes down to Gratisfaction up against 3. Again, he has the bomb, so he should be able to get it down ideally. The problem is there's a player towards short, and Dexter will stop that from happening. So, 15-12. Again, Renegades should be able to buy up into this round. But luckily, Grayhound are able to keep more players alive at the end of it. So able to stabilize their economy a little bit.
Yeah, I think they may still have like a UMP or something in play, which definitely not ideal, unless they're just going to try to get rid of it over the next round. But even still, the T's money is finally starting to diminish a little bit here, and towards the end of the game, obviously they've still got the loss bonus coming. Sterling starting to come into his own a little bit, taking some aggressive plays in towards middle, and I think that's actually been a bit of a difference maker for the Grayhound side. But the question is it too little too late? Because there's still time for adjustments. Nice little peek coming out from Urkus, and he may be able to finish off Jacob with a nade, but I think he just about escapes. However, more damage is done elsewhere. A pick in onto Azur. And the grenades doing further damage. Gratisfaction trying to trade, but Urkus again peeking back out, using the timing to his advantage. Will pick off one more.
They have the A site. Just completely give it over to him. They're actually able to get the bomb back into the site as they retreat from T-spawn. Sterling needs to hit the shot to stop from getting in, and unfortunately for him, JKS will get the bomb down. Liaz has to hit these shots. He gets the first on a Dexter. Dick Stacy just gonna wait for his teammates to rejoin back in. This comes down to do or die. They need this round. They cannot afford to let this one slip away as it dwindles down to a 3-on-3.
Yeah, the retake's not going to be easy either. They've not got a huge amount of utility, a smoke and a flashbang, or a couple at least, to try and get themselves back into the site. JKS waiting patiently, but it's actually going to be the push over the top of the smoke. They've got to be careful. Liaz looking for that kill, but doesn't manage to find it. JKS, however, will manage to pick off one. Now he has a lot of work to do because his teammate's so desperately low. The bomb, however, ticking very fast, but it doesn't seem to matter. I think he's just about got the defuse as well. Grayhound, they cut it close, but they're still going.
Too close for comfort for them. Especially with how that round went, with all the nade damage being done in middle, with Aircast constantly peeking. It is honestly a wonder how they were able to pull themselves together in the last few seconds. And Sterling, if he didn't hit that shot, that probably would have been the end of the match for them. But now into round number 29. I think Renegades, yeah, just gonna buy up a lot of utility and pistols, trying to go for that last round buy for the finisher. Get that final nail in the coffin for Grayhound Gaming. Sterling's gonna have an opportunity for a shot. It's 2 players towards underpass though. He's gonna have to be careful, but he hits the first.
I think he spotted something as well. Yeah, it's gonna be the nade dunked in. He's waiting for Azza to try set up this pick. They've left him with a solo AK once again. They know what this man can do when it's needed of him. Yeah, it's gone a little bit quiet over the last few rounds. They've been on 28 for quite a while. Not that that's anything to really frown upon, but considering how a lot of their rounds really came off the back of him and JKS, they sort of come to expect a little bit more of him. Even still, though, the CT side sit with that man advantage. For the majority, it is still pistols. And as of yet, Renegades yet to really make much ground.
I think just try to wait for Azur to do his thing. Yeah, he's gonna spot out one player, and that's gonna be Dick Stacy towards B Halls. Azur's still just waiting in window too. He's not even trying to make a play happen off this just yet. He's just waiting for someone to potentially peek in towards short, hoping that the pressure over towards B Halls forces that. Another smoke comes down, 35 seconds. They're gonna have to pick up the pace, and unfortunately Azur has fallen. Malta's gonna get that. And it's just gonna be them running straight into Dick Stacy, just gonna be spraying. Oh, okay, no, never mind. The nades that come through, it's still possible here.
There's still multiple players left on this site. It's scripted where they're going to be going. And although JKS will hit a nasty tag onto Urkus, it's going to be 15-14. The full 30 rounds will be played again. The question is it going to be heartbreak once more for Grayhound, getting so close to bringing this to overtime, and then Renegades just squeezing it over the line? We're not seeing that final pause called by the looks of things, so we are just going to go straight into this one. AKs across the board, no AWP for Gratisfaction, who has still got himself on 20 frags. Again, I think there's only one man who hasn't. That's Liaz for Renegades. So if they do manage to lose it, they've definitely had the sort of fragging ability to take this one through. At the same time, they're going back to basics, right into this A site. With the smoke setup, it's going to be Mortar and Dexter. A little bit closer, may not be expected around this corner. He's going to spray down 2. This time they're looking to make it work. A 3rd for Dexter as well. And Gratisfaction at least manages to trade one back, but he's left on just 2 HP. They're going to need JKS to try and be this hero once again. But this time, there's so much left to do. Already looking for that peek in towards the CT spot, but as of yet isn't going to find anything. Opponents just both waiting around the corner, and they're going to peek in at the perfect time. JKS with everything to do, and this time we are going to overtime. Greyhounds manage to make the turnaround possible, and Renegades can't close out the map.
Unfortunate for Renegades, but well done by Grayhound. After round after round after round, I think it was about 8 in a row for Renegades. They're able to take the last 5. So overtime, you know, the pressure's there. You can see it's definitely a hard-fought game. I mean, we were looking at 16-14 in map 1. We're looking at overtime in map 2. If Grayhound picked this up and go into a 3rd map, they have to be exhausted. But luckily, for both teams, it would be Dust 2 of all maps.
Yeah, that would definitely be an absolute brawl if we managed to get there. And you have to talk about the fact that in this match, we pretty much got the 3 puggiest maps in the game. Just like the all-out brawl from the Aussie CS. But the fact is, this is definitely not over just yet. And at the same time, you have to sort of talk about Renegades. Like, okay, you talk about fatigue with Greyhounds. I think if they managed to pull this back from being, what, was it like 15-10?
It was very rough, yeah.
And then to bring it back and then win, they'll go into that third map with, they'll be rejuvenated, re-energized, whereas Renegades will be like, yeah, we probably should have closed that out. It's going to be a little bit painful, so definitely a lot to play for. I think if it goes to a third, it really is anybody's game. All predictions out the window, which I'm sure the desk would be very happy with, although at the moment, it's still on for both of them.
Certainly just going some shots at the smoke. Almost had an opportunity there to catch out on someone. Azur, who's been quiet, I have to say. He's gotten about, I think, 8 frags on T side of Mirage, where he had about 20 at the end of the first half of CT side. Grass Faction eating a giant nade to the face. Takes him down to 49 health, and Dexter threw the smoke directly to the head of Azur. Again, this mid presence is looking good out of Grayhound. You see Renegades have struggled more times than not, I feel like, to get control of this part of the map.
Well, yeah, that's the big change I feel that Grayhound have been making. They've been playing more in middle. They've been taking the fights. They've been challenging versus Renegades, and they are winning these battles. They really have built into this map. And Dexter has been one of the heroes of this side. He's now looking to try and overtake Azur, who was so far ahead not long ago. I said he was 10 kills above anybody on the opposing side. Now, I think the distance is only a couple, and Dexter's just going ham. He's now hit 28, and I believe, yeah, Azur still hasn't moved since I said it.
I think Dexter's like, all right, I'm tired of this. I mean, he was a big player for them in their first match. We're going to find out if he's going to keep this pace up, though. That's the real question. We're in overtime. They're on CT side. They struggled on T side of Mirage, though. They didn't struggle that badly. It was like 8-7, so it's not that big of a difference. But they didn't look nearly as good as they've looked in these last 6 rounds.
Yeah, it was more the beginning of the CT side where they were actually struggling. But they seem to have found their groove. It's going to be a fast-paced play, though. This is what caught them out on Cash, and it's looking to catch them out once again. Dick Stacy left to just try and hold on. And while it's not going to happen, JKS will put him down within a matter of seconds. And, well, you almost have to look at the CT side and go, can you win this round? Obviously, money's not an issue. It's OT. They've got plenty of cash, but double AWP, retake, can't say I'm a believer. Then again, you don't really see many teams actually go for these sort of plays, and they've already managed to find 2 picks right back into the site. Still, though, a lot left to do. They've got kits, they've got utility. Peek back in towards short, but Grayhound Faction hits the crucial kill, and I fear that may be it. 16-16, still nothing separating these two teams. And well, now we get to see who will take that final round in the first half of OT.
I think it's getting tense here between the two. I think if Dick Stacy might have gotten 1 frag on the entry there, that might have been able to actually make this a lot more realistic of a retake. But unfortunately for Grayhound, losing the double ops, able to pick up double op yet again. Sterling and Malta have a timeout, the last one here for Renegades. And this is a crucial round to win because, like we were saying before, they did struggle a little bit on their CT side. They look much cleaner on T side, able to win those 8 rounds straight. But CT was a little bit back and forth as they're able to only get a streak of 5 going on. So if you win this, you know you're only 2 away from getting through into the playoffs.
Yeah, and well, for their opponents, getting the last round and a couple on the other side would take us to a third and final map. And as said, Dust 2, it really is just an open book at this point. And, well, interested to see who's going to be the one writing it. As we will have, obviously, a full buy on either side for this one. A round apiece does just that. Plenty of Molotovs for either side, and a lot going to be expended early on for the CTs to try and just gain control of the apartments. Still looking for that mid-play once again, but it's looking like a bit of a bamboozle thrown in. Some early presence shown over towards the B site, but by the looks of things, we may have a late duck down into the underpass and then a hit towards A.
If only Stacy knew how close he was to catching a player from Renegades. So the fake going to be sold here. Actually, are they going to commit for this fake? I thought they might back away. Sterling's going to get the first frag. The rotations have not come in from A, though. Going to re-smoke up, and Malta hits the shot. And Malta gets a second, and just like that, Grayhound, they read into this. Liaz had a slow game here, but if you can pull off a 1v5, I'd take back all of it. This is a time that Renegades needs you to pull something off, and unfortunately won't be really able to. 17-16 in favor of Grayhound Gaming at the end of our first half of overtime.
Yeah, it's first time in a long time they've been in the lead. I think, what, since about round number, like, 20 or something like that. There was a massive streak of rounds towards the end. Not even that, probably a little bit earlier, but yeah, they've managed to pull things back and take themselves the lead.
They've actually rotated Sterling and Malta. They've changed their position where Sterling was normally towards the A side, that Malta switched it up. I go into the CT side. I mean, this is, we can't forget. I mean, I know it feels like a long time ago, but Azur was insane CT side. Even though the rounds finished off 8-7 half, I believe it was, it wasn't pretty. But Azur got like 20 frags.
Yeah, I think he had 21-22 in the first half.
Yeah.
He's had, what, like 6 or 7 since? Which does sort of scare you a little bit, because he literally has, I don't think he's had a kill in about 6 rounds, if not more. But it's been a long time since he's even graced the scoreboard, so hopefully we'll see him step up and have one of those hugely impactful rounds that Renegades need. Otherwise, Dust 2 may just be on the cards. Now, CT side is where he was marvelous, but as you said, a long time ago.
Well, maybe we just cast a cursed him. Maybe this will be his round. You can see a lot of presence in middle. Look at Jacob, an anti-flash here. Also watching towards underpass at the same time. He gets the first. The thing is, he has no one protecting his backside now, but he's able to get the trade with the help of Azur.
And there you go.
Wow.
Sort of call him out, and he steps up with a couple of his own, hitting that 30 bomb after quite a long hiatus. Just giving his opponents a little bit of a chance by the looks of things. And now we look towards the T side. Dexter and Malta really doing well so far in OT. Question is, can they pull this round back? It's a big, big ask for the remainder, especially with 2 players already ready and waiting on this site.
If Liaz jump spots us about one more time, he's going to see them inching their way in towards the B site. Yeah, there we go. Spots him out. Malta knows it's go time, but Grass Factor's going to be there to support his player. Now Dexter sneaking his way in towards the site. Not sure he's been noticed, but it's definitely given away. That should be him falling, but he gets the first. Not able to get more than that. And Grass Faction's able to help tie things up now at 17 apiece. You can just see, a little bit of exhaustion because of how intense this match has been, going back, both ways. We've seen
the players too.
Teams. Go on.
Well, that was all.
Okay.
So I had to chime in.
Wasn't as good as the watch one, but they can't all be winners, Tom.
No.
I just hope one of mine are eventually going to be a winner. That's probably the most you've ever laughed at anything I've ever said, so I'll take it. That's my winner. Meantime, now Jacob going to be switching up the connector. Azur going to be on short this time. Grass Faction already opens up with the first frag, and just like that, then the first 30 seconds of time, they have a 2-man lead in this round.
Yeah, there's actually a chance to take all 3, but Dexter looking to try and turn it. It's the same 2 left again, but not for long. Malta left alone is about to run into the hands of Azur, but, well, clearly doesn't have the grip needed, as Malta will be there to put him out. Now Jacob just taking the peek into middle. Doesn't really need to take much of a face here. But feeling confident will give the lead to Renegades once again. And now they are sat with another map point. It took them, well, they didn't take it. I was going to say that it took them a long time to take it. It took them a long time to get back to the map point, obviously, after having 5 to do it previously, with a great comeback coming in from Grayhound. The fact is, though, they may just fall at the final hurdle once again, as they are now sat with even a weaker buy. They've got a Mac 10. They have themselves a lovely little CZ. Now, some Dayang showed us in the CIS minor that you can work magic on Mirage with the Mac 10. And you sort of expect it to be and go over to this B site. Liaz is going to be the one taking the early fight, but just throws down the utility to try and hold back any sort of bombardment from this side. Even does a little bit of damage back.
Just trying to spray away through the smoke. They're actually going for a heavier stack towards the B side here for Renegades. You can see it's just JKS alone at the A side to play retake. Even Sterling trying to set up for a delayed smoke in towards mid. This is a big risk for Grayhound to push in. Again, if Liaz just jump peeks this, he's going to spot them out. And he's going to get the information that, hey, they're heading this way. Tish back in from Sterling to help join. Grass Faction gets the first shot. Nog comes in out of Azure. They have the stack here. They have the men. They have the kills so far. It's all into Dexter and Sterling. And Dexter's going to fall. Now Sterling gets 4. It's going to take God's work here to pull this off. And I'm not sure if he's going to be able to. He's got 50 seconds left, but he doesn't have the HP anymore. And Renegades will get themselves through into the playoffs.
Yeah, again, they just sort of show the resolve that they have, losing 5 rounds in a row, going into OT and losing the first half 2-1, then taking all 3 rounds over on their CT side. And I have to say that I feel bad for Greyhounds. I felt like they deserved at least a map. Like, there were so many rounds that were like individually won and really well played by, well, Renegades. And a few of the players able to do it. Either way, it's not our job to break down the map. I'm not being paid for that, so we're going to hand it off to Banks, who I think he gets paid. He might just do it just to annoy Jason.